My name is Festus Adebayo. I'm the coordinator of Africa International Housing Show. The focus of AIHS 2024 have to do with financing the housing we need. We chose that topic having observed the majority of the people that really need the houses don't have the affordability for the available houses. So how do we address this problem? And therefore, we decided to use this platform that brought together experts from different countries in Africa, from international agencies, the World Bank, the IFC, the African Development Bank, the Shelter Africa, to look into what is the way forward to finance the housing we need. On that note, we have to look at the issue of data. Nigeria does not have data. But all that we know is that there's a problem of housing. If you don't know that there's a problem of housing, go to the remote areas. If you are in Abuja, go to Suleja areas or toward Kubwa, or go to Nyanya, go to Gbagbalada. You see a number of people coming from that area to the city every morning. The same thing applies to Lagos, where people cannot afford to live in places where they're supposed to live. But these people are even renting in a place that you could describe as a slum. How do we finance houses for those people who does not have this capacity? You go to UK, you hear about social housing. You go to America, you hear the budget that the government is putting on affordable housing. Then you look at what is going on in Nigeria. Then you come up with a feeling that it seems as if the government is doing a lip service to housing. Because if it is not a lip service, government will have sold the political will to make the mortgage sector work. But how would this mortgage sector work in Nigeria, where the interest rate is above 30%? It can't work. How will it work where the building materials being used for the housing, 80% of it are imported? Why can't government play the leadership role and build houses with local materials, so by example, that will make other developers to follow? During the course of this program, the chairman of the opening ceremony, Pastor Matthew Washimolowo, mentioned that there is a state in Nigeria where before you can get a building approval, you have to pass through bottleneck processes that will involve you going to about 17 organizations. So we need an enabling environment. Recently, the president established a committee on economic revitalization. I went through the component of that committee. I found out that not even one single housing expert is there. How do you address the economy, solve the economic problem, when housing is not on your priority list? How do you solve housing problem when you don't feel that housing has multiplier effect and can address the problem of unemployment, and can address the problem of insecurity, and it can even address the problem of health? Because when they have an opportunity to live in a decent place, the numbers of times they'll be going to the hospital will be reduced. So, I would like to use this opportunity to announce very clearly that the Africa International Housing Show, at the end of the 4 days, call on the federal government of Nigeria and other African countries to leave the level of lip service and develop a political will that we provide housing for Nigerians. It is sad to note the people who have been working for 25 years as a civil servant can only afford to own a home only if they can afford to steal. Corruption cannot be addressed in Nigeria if the government of Nigeria is not interested in addressing the issue of housing for its citizens. Housing must be given priority, and that is what Africa International Housing Show is saying. The platform is calling all the governors in Nigeria to please put housing as a priority. Some of those governors have turned the issue of building approval, getting building approval, as a way of getting internal revenue. You cannot be charging money, turning building approvals to be a way of raising revenue and be thinking that the developers will build affordable housing. It will not happen, because all the bill they are paying, they will have to put it on the price that they will sell the houses. So we are calling the governors to profile developers that are credible, the developers that have excellent record, and work with them, and then use housing to address insecurity in their domain, and then use housing to address unemployment in their domain. Africa International Housing Show commend the government of Yobe, commend the government of Borno for what they are doing in the area of housing. We have been having cases in Yobe and Borno where the government is subsidizing the cost of houses to the tune of 50%. This is what we are looking for. We are calling on government to assist the civil servant through subsidy, where the cost of the houses are 25 or 30 million. Government should subsidize it, and after subsidizing it, create an instrumental payment arrangement in such a way that people cannot afford housing. We have the privilege to have roof on their head. With the situation in Nigeria today, with what inflation is causing, with interest rates, the hope of common men in Nigeria is going down, and they are losing hope in the area of home ownership. We're calling the government to take housing as a serious matter. No matter the challenge of Nigeria economic today, housing could be of serious importance to address it.